This is Cross Functionality. Thank you for joining us, Apple, Google, Spotify, for this show as well. And new episodes every Wednesday at 9 a.m. So thank you for all of the support, the listenership. I counted it up, by the way. This last month, April 2023, our listenership went up by 15%. Thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate the listenership, not the viewership. So, we would love for you to subscribe and listen to the show on YouTube. Softball Strength Academy YouTube page. But hey, we appreciate the listens as well across multiple platforms. All right, episode 38. Get into today's main topic, talking about competitiveness, the will to compete. You said last week you hate to lose. I hate to lose as well. One thing I think I will say when I was writing the show and thinking about some ideas that I put down on paper, talking about competitiveness, I think it all starts internally with yourself. You really think about it. And if you want to be a competitive athlete or play at a high level, I think you have to be able to learn to compete with yourself first and hold yourself accountable first. And then that can help you become an even better teammate. Number one, be as good a teammate as you possibly can be. But then number two, hold yourself accountable when you're competing against yourself to get better. Because a lot of times, and just talking baseball, softball, you play such an individualized sport that when you go 2 for 10 or you're struggling at the plate or you're struggling on the mound, the lights are on you, the eyes are on you. You feel and you get this thought in your head that everybody's watching me and everybody's watching me fail, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you kind of forget about what your surroundings really are and that it is still a team game. And that's just the way that the sports, baseball and softball, are set up. So I think one of the best ways, and this is just strictly, again, my opinion, I would love to hear what you think about this. I think the best way to go about being as competitive as possible and harnessing that energy and using it for good rather than, a competitive ping pong game against your sibling where they're not as competitive is to compete against yourself and always try to get better every single day, every single week with what you may be doing and how it translates to what you're doing on the field, baseball and softball.
Yeah, I think you nailed it when you said probably a healthier way to compete, right? So you don't, I think competitiveness and motivation are really closely aligned. So if your motivation is always external, it's like, well, I'm just going to really work hard so I can beat so-and-so in a game, or I'm just going to work really hard, or I'm going to do X, Y, and Z just so I can never lose. There is some benefit to that mentality, but now you're letting an external source dictate your work ethic, your competitiveness, your drive. Whereas if you're constantly just showing up every day saying, okay, I'm trying to have the best practice I've ever had, and I'm trying to have the best game I've ever had, the best at bat I've ever had. One, that translates to yourself really well because again, you're not having these lows when you face low competition, and you're not just getting amped up only when you face good competition, right? You're having a very consistent approach. And then two, that trickles to your team. And right, that's what you want your team to do. Hey, I want to compete against us and not, we want to play a nameless, faceless opponent and not just feel like, oh, we're going to just show up when the game's on the line, opposed to I'm going to try to have the best inning we've ever had as a team, So I think that where your motivation lies, intrinsic motivation versus extrinsic, you want that intrinsically motivated mindset for sure.